Hello, welcome to Mustang Creek Golf Course in Taylor, Texas. This is our 100th anniversary, 1914 to 2014. We invite you to come play our course and take part in some history, one of the oldest golf courses in Texas. You can visit our website at www.mustangcreektaylor.com. Hole number 1 is a par 4, 349 yards. Pretty straightforward from an elevated tee box by the pro shop and clubhouse. It will carry 2 water hazards. There is a ladies' tee box that takes both of those water hazards out of play. The fairway slopes away from you. All of our golf course has cart paths of concrete that make this course easy to play in wet conditions as long as the carts stay on the cart paths. Number 1 is a pretty hole. As you can see, as you start the fairway here, your ball will be landing somewhere between 110 and 40 yards out. There is a waste area in front of the green that must be carried. Also, a drive that hits too far will land in this waste area and causing for a penalty. The green is rather small. It is tucked back on the other side of the waste area, but it is relatively flat and easy to play as long as the pin is not on the right side. Number 2 can be a very difficult hole depending on the wind. It faces due south, and our prevailing winds are from the south of this golf course. The fairway slopes a little from the right to the left. There is out of bounds on the right, and there is a water hazard that's about 220 yards on the left. Most drives will land anywhere from 125 yards out to a little closer depending on the wind. In the south wind, prevailing south winds, it's going to be a very difficult hole. With a prevailing north wind coming behind you, it can be relatively easy. There is also out of bounds behind the hole. With rough and waste area on the right and over the green. This is a relatively new green we built a few years ago. It took a very difficult green out of play that we previously had. It is an elevated green that's relatively flat but small. The collar sweeps away from the green on all the sides, but it makes for a good approach shot. And if you're able to hold this green, a good birdie attempt. Number 3 is a par 3 that will carry water. It is about 160 yards on the average, but can play from the gold tees up to 220 yards. After you carry the water, you'll have a green that relatively faces you, but it does slope toward you, and it can be rather difficult. There is a sand trap that protects the backside of the green. There is a ladies' tee box that takes the water hazard out of play. This is a heart-shaped green, and depending on the pin position, the best position for your shot will be below the hole. Number 4 is a par 3, 143 yard that goes over water. This view is from the back side of the green with the water in front. Again, this is from the back of the green. This is a relatively large green, and you can see we have an elevated pin there. The stick is relatively tall, so you can see the stick from the tee box. Number 5 is our first of our par 5s. It is a dogleg left at 500 yards long. It's a pretty hole. Your tee shot will go over this waist area. There is a ladies' tee box there on the right in the center of the fairway that takes out that waste area and ditch that drains through the golf course. There's the ladies' tee box there. Again, this is a dogleg left. Most tee shots will land up in this area at about 250 yards off the tee box, leaving you another 250 yards to the green, or an approach shot that will put you 50 yards out and relatively safe. There is out of bounds on the right of the roadway where you see those clump of trees up there, and there's also out of bounds left where you see the old Taylor Country Club. This is the straightway of the dogleg as it approaches the green. This is 100 yards out, which would be a good position to be for your third shot. Again, the stakes on the right near the roadway are out of bounds, and there are stakes on the backside of the green that are also out of bounds, and white stakes near the country club on the left that are also out of bounds. This is a relatively small green that can be very tough to putt depending on the pin position. If the pin is in the middle of the green, it can be easier, but any pin placements in front can be difficult because this does have some slope to it that goes toward you from the front and away from you to the left. But a very pretty hole, one of our signature holes here at Mustang Creek. Number 6 is a short par 3, 120 yards long, from an elevated tee box. Down to a two-tiered green below. The green that you see currently on your left is the 18th green. We have two greens for number 9. That green is what we would play as the 18th green. This is the back of the green, and you can see that is the lower side. On from the tee box would be the right side, which is a lower level, and you see to the right there, which would be to the left of the tee box as your approach shot, is a higher level. It is a completely two-tiered, very large green. Number 7 is our second of our par 5s. It plays 491 yards, a slight dogleg right with a water hazard on the right, and with out of bounds that will run the fence line from the tee box all the way to the green. There is the ladies' tee box, and you can see the water hazard on the right. Your first shot should somewhere be between 200 yards and 250 yards out. You will be before you get to this first ditch that you'll see coming up. In this area right here, you're about 250 yards from the pin. This is our drainage ditch that goes across our golf course, and long hitters can get past this ditch and have a shot of around 210 to 220 yards to the green from this area right here. There's the 200-yard marker. Again, there's out of bounds on the right. This is the second of the landing areas. And then here is another waste area, drainage area that goes in front of hole number 7. And there is another landing area in front of 7 that allows you to pitch up to the green. This green is also elevated. You can see the collar and the elevation there of the green. This is behind the green looking back down the fairway. A very nice green. This is number 8, a par 4, 325 yards. This view is from the blue tee box, which makes it a 90-degree dogleg left. There is out of bounds to the right, and then out of bounds on the other side of the fairway. You can see the white tee boxes to the left. From the white tee boxes, you can have a shot of about 275 yards to carry the waste area and water hazard that's near this green, and you can actually carry that area and get a shot very close to the green depending on how far you hit the ball, how well you hit the ball, and wind conditions. You can see the water hazard there on the left in the waste area. From the white tee boxes, many players will try to make that shot and cut this dog leg off. Here's where the fairway begins its left turn at 90 degrees. From the blue tees, this would be a good area to land your ball, which would be about 250 yards from the tee box. This is also another elevated green with a thick collar around it and 2 trees behind it, and a very sloping fairway that goes behind the green that can make difficult chip shots up to the green. That is from behind the hole looking toward the tee box there on number 8. Number 9 and number 18 is our final hole, par 4, 353 yards long. Can play about 440 from the back tees going up to 18. This has a water hazard in front of the green. You can see the ladies' tee box on the left there as we go by that. Again, depending on wind conditions, this can be a very tough hole. Here is the landing area for the fairway. At this position here, you're about 150 yards from the green with at least 120 yards of carry over the water. There's the 100-yard marker. And then long hitters can get in this area right here, but then have to deal with the upslope and then the water hazard there and the green on the other side. This is the back of number 9. You can see the water hazard clearly. This is a very difficult green. The green slopes toward you. Depending on the pin position, you need to have the ball below the hole. And this is the approach to 18 using some of the same tee boxes. We also have a back tee box that can be used. This is a very elevated green with a very flat green on top. This is a beautiful hole. It gives you some different skill shots to get into this hole safely. A very nice green, a very nice hole here at Mustang Creek. Again, this is our 100th anniversary. We invite you to come play our golf course. We have some of the best rates in the area, and this is part of history. This is one of the oldest golf courses in Texas. We have an excellent membership program right now. I invite you to go to our website at www.mustangcreektaylor.com, review those options, and come out and play.